Most CIS workers do not know how to present their income to a lender. You can still remain tax efficient and borrow more, but if you don't present your income to the lender in the right way, you could be missing out on rates, you could be paying more deposit, and you could be paying higher fees. Hi all, I'm Jenny from Your Mortgage Hub, and I'm here to help those starting out or starting over with their mortgage by showing you what you should and what you shouldn't be doing when it comes to applying for a mortgage. So I had a first-time buyer who had a 5% deposit. He was looking to get his first home, obviously. He was a tradesman and he'd been doing it since he'd left school. He was really good at what he did and he earned a really good income. So initially when I went round there, he presented me with his tax returns. And if I'm honest, my heart sunk. And the reason my heart sunk was he'd told me he was on a really good income. And then I looked at his tax returns and thought that does not tally up. So after a bit of a discussion, it turned out he was actually a subby. So he was a CIS worker contracted to the same guy who paid him the same amount each and every week. But then when his accountant got his tax returns, they deal with the deductions and that gave us a lower net profit. So being a CIS worker, we have two ways to use your income. We can use your net profit or we can look at your pay deduction statements, okay? Usually you're going to get more if you do the deduction statements. So working through, looking at them, we were able to use an annualized figure on his last 3 months deduction statements, which were a lot higher than his net profit because his accountant hadn't got hold of them at that time. That meant when we went to the lender, we had a higher amount. He could borrow more, and it meant rather than buying his first home, he could actually buy that next upgrade home. And it also meant he avoided all the loan to value restrictions, all the age restrictions that comes with being self-employed because we classed him as an employed subcontractor. So when you're applying for a mortgage as a CIS worker, there's 3 things you need to be doing. Number 1, you need to work out if you're going to be employed or self-employed. If you're going to be self-employed, the lender's going to look at your net profit and they're either going to average out over the last 2 years or maybe they'll use your latest year's figures. If you're going to be classed as employed, we're going to need either the last 3 to 6 months paid slips from you or vouchers, whatever you want to call them, and we're going to work out what your annual figure is based on that information. Number 2. You need to get all your bank statements and your deduction statements in order. We need to make sure they're telling the right story. So I'm always banging the drum. If you are self-employed, whether you're a sole trader, CIS worker, a limited company, you need a separate bank account for your business. So whether that's a business bank account or a personal bank account that you use, they need to be 2 separate ones, okay? Don't mix your business with your pleasure. You also need to get your pay deduction statements in order. It's renowned that people do not get these, okay? But you need to get hold of them. So you want the last 3 to 6 months when you're applying for a mortgage, get organised and get your documents in order. Number 3. You need to get a mortgage broker. Being a CIS worker, there's lots of little things that we can do and we can use to the lender's criteria, but we're going to need to search the whole of the market. So you want a whole of mortgage market advisor, okay? They're going to be able to look at the lender's criteria and work out if it's best to treat you as employed or treat you as self-employed. Let's be fair, most people do not have time to do that themselves. So get someone and pay a broker to do it for you. So the 3 things you should be doing if you're a CIS worker and you're looking to get a mortgage is 1, work out if you're going to be employed or self-employed. 2, get all your statements in order. Make sure they're telling the right story for you. That's your pay slips and also your bank statements. And number 3, you need to get yourself a mortgage broker who's going to search the whole of the market for you. If you want to know what works best for you, whether you're employed or self-employed as a subby, drop me a message. We can have a chat.